Well, hello, everyone. This is Tracie L James, your business growth strategist, and I am back. That's right. I am back with another dynamic, amazing woman entrepreneur. And let me tell you, the lady I've got coming today, she is fire. All right. Let me tell you right now, go ahead while I'm introducing her, get that notepad and that pen ready because she's about to drop some knowledge on you, okay, that you truly need for your business. So let's get ready. Today, I am joined by my Sarah, former Miss Texas Southern University, Zakiya Larry. That's right. I have the one and only Elevation Strategist with me today. And, I could read this bio from top to bottom and talk about all the amazing people she's worked with and where she's been featured. I'm talking Oprah Magazine. Yes, right. The Oprah Magazine, y'all. Okay. Black Enterprise. Featured on Fox News Radio. All right. Featured in Ebony Magazine as one of the top 10 Black women dominating. Okay, let me restate that. Dominating the field of PR, tech, and digital media. So know this, get ready, because she's about to share how to elevate your brand to that next level. Zakiya, thank you so much for joining me today.
Tracie, listen, that introduction, I am hype. I'm fired up. I'm like, who is that? Oh, she's talking about me. So thank you for just your energy, for speaking life. Yes, the facts are on the bio, but when I have a chance to connect with my sister, you're so powerful, your community's phenomenal. And so it just brings it all full circle. It's a cherry on top. So hi y'all. Hey Tracie, I'm happy to be here.
I am so glad to be here with you. And I can't wait for us to be able to see each other in person. It's been way too long. Hugs, yes. All that wonderful AKA love, up, down, and left to right. So listen,
Absolutely.
anytime I'm interviewing someone, there's just a question I just have to ask. This is just
Okay.
my go-to question. And it's a two-part question. The first part is, who are you? The second part, why do you do what you do?
Wow. Honestly, you could begin and end every interview on that question. So, two parts: who am I? And then, why do I do what I do? Well, who am I? Folks may be expecting me to list publicists, chief strategists. I help businesses and brands go from where they are to where they want to be. That's not who I am. That's what I do. That's an extension, a manifestation of who I am. Who I am as Zakiya Larry is a nurturer, a teacher, a protector, a thinker, a puzzle problem solver. That's how I'm knit together. And so, as a protector, that manifests into what I do. I do crisis communications and I put together brand plans for authors, speakers, corporations to go from where they are to where they want to be, to elevate. Well, part of that brand plan and crisis mitigation is protecting the brand. And part of protecting your brand is getting out in front of your own story, hence public relations chief strategist. So that's who I am, and an example of who I am manifesting in what I do. Now, why do I do what I do? I'm simple, Tracie. It comes back full circle. My why for doing what I do, three prongs to that. One, because I'm built like that. I do what I do because I was made to do it. So, as a nurturer, teacher, problem solver, should have put creator in there. I create things, write, news, all those. It's a manifestation. So, I can only live out how I was born to be, right? So that's why, because that's how I am. But also, my second why with why I do what I do is because I am incredibly passionate about helping small to medium businesses to elevate, to get to where they want to be, because I truly believe in economic empowerment and equity. And although those may seem like huge concepts, we can all play our role in our lanes. And for me, it's giving visibility to these companies and businesses who have a brand, who have a purpose, and just need to be in front of more people. And then also, I manifest that more specifically as the co founder of the Racial Equity Forum. But I'm not going in a million different directions here. In both of those segments, be it elevating brands, companies, and people, or through the Racial Equity Forum, working on advocacy, helping corporation leaders know what to say, how to say it, and put a plan around those words, it's still one thing. It's elevation. And it's elevation toward equity, using those things inside of me that I already came here with back October 9th, 19. My mom was there. Don't worry about the date. Just, we know.
All right. Well, I love to hear you share your why, because your entire face lights up. So I know it's coming from a very real and honest place. Let me tell y'all, one day, this beautiful woman was speaking, I think it was at University of Houston. And I actually had worked all day, had several meetings, and really wanted to drive home. And at the time, I was living in Fresno, Texas, which is like about 20 to 30 minutes south of Houston. That's depending on just some regular traffic. And found out she was speaking at University of Houston, and I completely changed my schedule because I needed to go see her speak. And this is why, because she's truly passionate about helping business owners elevate. And so as you help others elevate, what is a very key thing that you do as a female business owner to elevate your brand?
A key thing I do as a woman owned, minority owned, all the labels, right, that our society has to elevate my business is I focus on fulfilling my promise to my clients, potential clients, and I focus on strategic visibility. So, fulfilling my purpose or my promise, rather, I tell people all the time, I teach this to my clients. Your brand is your promise. Your brand is not your colors, your brand is not your logo, your brand is your promise. And so, my promise is to elevate. My promise coming from my core is to protect, to put together those puzzle pieces. And so, one of the things I do is just I'm very intentional about the accounts that I work on and how I work on them, because to this day, and I've been in business for 14 years or so at this point, to this day, I have never marketed my services or promoted my company. And I always have a full roster because I focus on that brand promise. And then all of my business comes through referrals. So that's pretty fantastic. I'm so grateful for that. And then the other thing that I do when I say strategic visibility, and Tracie, you've seen this too with, the arena you're in, your clients, people you coach, people clamor to be seen. People clamor and people even throw words around like, I want to be famous. And one of the things I share with my clients, and I tell myself every day, that my goal is not fame. My goal is not to be seen. My goal is to be known by the people that can make the greatest impact when it comes to my goals. So that means when the world was open, I wasn't at every conference, I wasn't at every networking event, because often we stretch ourselves thin trying to be in the room. I don't want to be in the room unless I have a seat. And I don't want to be in the seat unless I have a voice. And I don't want to be in the seat having a voice unless that voice is being considered by the group. And so when there are opportunities, I take a look and say, what of this opportunity is a social, I'm taking pictures and I'm looking cute to say I'm next to this person? Or what in this gives me the opportunity to affect change and drive toward my business goals that I set and review on a very regular basis. So it's just analyzing and saying no to a bunch of stuff and feeling so horrible about it because I'm such a softie. I'm a Libra, I'm a people person, and saying no, I sometimes want to cry, but it's been working out and it's a necessary skill set.
That's a very that is an amazing testament to be able to say that your business comes through referral. Two
Yeah.
things. Number one, that the quality of work that you put out enables and pushes the people who you've worked with to say, hey, wait, you need to get her on this situation for you. You need to get her so you can elevate your brand. That's huge. And the fact that you're more focused on fulfilling your promise to your clients than just being seen. And this is the awesome thing. I'll need y'all to understand this. In the process of her fulfilling her promise, guess what? She's been seen. This is how she gets invited to be a contributor in magazines, on radio shows, on TV. This girl and done red carpet, okay? She didn't seek it out. It came to her. When the scripture says that your gift will make room for you, she's a testament to that. You don't have to flaunt it. And I get it. We live in a social media driven society at this point that everybody wants to be Instagram famous. And I'm sorry. When I first started out, that's what I thought I needed to do to build my business. So I was all over Facebook and Twitter and Instagram, and I was just doing all of this stuff. And what I found was that my efforts were not focused.
Right.
And so being more strategic. And I'm going to tell you, I've learned a lot from Zakiya by just watching. And I realized, I'm like, this girl is blowing up. She got folks coming to her. I'm like on the phone, hey, do you have space in your calendar to take me on? Girl, right now I just booked, bop. I'm booked. I don't know when I'm going to have some space in my calendar. Most small business owners don't have that luxury to be able to say they don't know when they're going to have some space. So I began to pay attention to the things that she was doing. So I'm sharing this with you for a reason, is that sometimes you may not be able to hire the person that you want to hire to coach you, to give you the advice. But sometimes what you can do is you can just watch what they do.
Tracie, that is so powerful because I do the same thing. And I will tell you guys that what Tracie is offering you right now is above and beyond even what she sometimes does for herself. Yeah, I'm gonna get in your business because Tracie loves on other people. She does for other people, and I'm like, so how you doing? What's going on today, Tracie? So what she's telling you is 1000% true. I know that's not a real percentage. I do words, not math. She is 1000% true, authentic, honest. And the fact that you're this interview that you're doing, the way you're bringing this content, and Tracie can tell you this as a coach, this is a coaching session. There are people who hire us to have these kind of conversations. And so thank you for putting this out, Tracie, as well. And this is an example for watching, listening, and mirroring. One of the things that I really like to do is I'm just like Tracie, study what other people are doing, how they're moving. And as a matter of fact, I'll use this as an example. I have a different background typically for my business, but I love how Tracie spaced her logo and her verbiage at the bottom. So I said, well, let me create a different, and I said, Tracie, let me do a different little background because I like the spacing, I like the balance. So things like that, where we're in community, we're making each other sharper, we're making each other better. That is so critical. But I will say, Tracie has a direct line to me anytime. If someone reaches out to me, I typically don't give them that much detail, but I tell her because I know she and I are on our entrepreneurship journey. And I like her to know, what I'm working on so that she understands that I'm not just like, girl, I don't feel like it today. It's like, no, you're important to me. Like you text me, I need you to understand my why. But let's look in July if there, and and Tracie knows I'll say that, like, can we talk about it in July and see, because that's relationship, that's intentionality. So I wanted to add that. Oh, but Tracie, can I jump? You added, you shared something about being all over on all social media, and you did that early on, and we all do. We all did. I will say this: you echoed something I said about being strategic with how you show up, and that's what I had to learn. I had to learn it quickly, and I will give you guys this bit of insight here. I was strategic with a media opportunity. I wasn't trying to be everywhere, but there was a really nice one that came across. I agreed to it. And I have gotten fantastic contracts above and beyond what I had even considered when it came to my normal rate, because they found me in that media publication. And so I could be spending time going to this gala, that gala, or 857,000 podcasts and interviews, but I only do the ones that matter to me and that would make a strategic impact. So they allow me to serve, or they serve my business. And they don't have to do both at the same time. But that's my benchmark. And it has worked out. And so that's what I wanted to just illuminate when it comes to strategy. A lot of times we're looking for, how can I make X amount of dollars this month? And that's critical. Shoot, I'm still crunching numbers. Okay. It's January, it's 2021. We got to get it. That's normal. But I also say, where can I place myself that will always live, so I can go back into the lab and continue working my brand? And so I do that through media opportunities, because you can Google my name and it's going to come up, fortunately or unfortunately, for the next forever. So that's one of the ways that I leverage strategically visibility as well.
That is just, that's, man, that's so true. I mean, for me, it's always amazing to me how I'll get a direct message or I'll get an email on my website because someone Googled me, because someone gave them my name.
Yep.
And, it blows me away, because I'm that person. It really is just more about me being there to help, to serve. I know what my purpose is. My purpose is to help others fulfill their purpose. That's the purpose that God's given me. I'm an encourager. By nature, I'm a coach. By nature, I always have been. And I didn't see that. My grandmother told me when I was 12 that I was going to be a teacher. And I was like, I mean, no teacher, because in my mind, I had a very small view of what being a teacher was. I thought she was talking about elementary and high school. No, I'm not going to teach like that. But ultimately, what I do on a day-to-day basis, it's teach. It's me taking the knowledge that I've learned, the experiences I've had, and I share it. So in this space, I like having that opportunity to not only share what I've learned, but also share what my community, my space of people have learned. These relationships are invaluable.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
so, since we are speaking to an audience of women entrepreneurs, and I know some gentlemen are actually going to be watching this, because I know you saw two beautiful women, and I know you popped in just to see what was going on. I get it. But speaking to women entrepreneurs, what are some keys to truly being able to elevate their brand? What are some things they need to take into consideration as they're building?
That's great. As women, take into consideration, one, consistency in the product you put out, but consistency in how you show up. And I will say this, I'm just going to shoot straight. Shoot. Tracie knows me. We're sorors. Listen, y'all, when I say consistency for women, we are flowers. We're phenomenal. We change our look and we do all sorts of things. In business, particularly if you're using yourself as the outward facing part of your brand, consistency. I have had this same hairstyle. I look back through pictures. I've had the same hairstyle about 3.5 years. You don't think I want to change it up? And you'll see little pictures when I'm just around the house of me looking different. But by and large, I look exactly the same every time you see me show up for Quest. And so it's about consistency, because there will be people who people remember different things. So it was interesting. I just Came in from DC. Please don't judge me. I had to do what I had to do, pay my bills. But I did a consulting for the US Black Chambers of Commerce in Washington, DC, and coverage around the inauguration. Here's my point. The CEO of the US Black Chambers of Commerce knows who I am. I've had a great working relationship with the organization for many years now. But the CEO looked at me and said, "You know what I noticed?" And I said, "Well, what is that, Mr. Busby?" He said, "You always wear bright colors. Like you don't ever have patterns. You don't ever have suits. You just wear really bright colors and dresses." He got it. I never said it to anyone. I never mentioned it. And the president and CEO, who is a Biden appointee to a commission, looked at me and articulated back to me part of my consistency. Why do I do that? Because I want to be remembered. A lot of people are not going to be able to remember or pronounce Zakiya. Is what it is. But they remember the big hair and the bright, bold, solid colors. What's your thing? What's your signature? Is it natural hair? Is it pearls? Look at Tracie, gorgeous. Tracie wears a lot of blues. I don't know if that's intentional, sis, but you wear like blue is her color. I could tell you that because I'm used to seeing that with her. I can recall that. So consistency, whatever your consistency is, right? So she's co-signing it. Absolutely. So consistency. Also, as a woman growing your business, I'll say this. No one talks about this, so I want to talk about it right now. Making myself uncomfortable. Tracie, don't kick me off. But being able to draw the line in the sand and being okay standing behind your line when it comes to how you interact with people in your business, particularly men. So there will be times, have been times, if it hasn't happened to you, happened to someone you know. And I hate to speak this because we are an evolving society, but it may or may not happen to you at some point soon. But being able to speak clearly, directly, and forcefully in your own way if an offense comes across from a man in the industry. I've been in business several years. There have been several times that men will inbox me under the guise of doing business. And then all of a sudden, look at Tracie. She knows all of a sudden the message turns to, "Hey, beautiful." And so my immediate response is, "You may address me as Zakiya or Miss Larry." And of course, I'll get the, "Ooh, she's this and ooh, she's that." I'd rather you call me a B because I am drawing a line in the sand and respecting the business relationship and femininity of myself still, rather than you call me something else because I flirt thinking that's going to keep you in conversation with me. I'd rather my I'd rather the chatter about who I am be she mean, she tough, which I'm not. If anybody met me, I'm a freaking marshmallow. It's ridiculous. But I'd rather it be said about me that I'm mean and people encounter me and understand what mean really means because people are gonna describe you from their own point of view. So when I interact with a person and they say, "Oh, I thought you were different," and my question is, "Well, why?" "Oh, well, Mr. said, oh, hmm." Right? So that person, that man, I'm not going to say person, that man will tell on himself if indeed he tries to, shape how other people see you because shirked or thwarted his advances. It happens a lot. No one told me as a woman in business that it would happen so often that sometimes I would cringe to even see a man's name come across my email.
Mhm.
And so I want to say that to you. And it doesn't matter. Don't ever think, "Oh, because of where I live, or because I'm married, or because of my station in life, or because of my age." People will try it. And so I will say, as a woman, be comfortable standing in that. I used to have a really hard time. I grew up, I mean, I'm from the South. I'm from Memphis, Tennessee. I spent a lot of time with my grandparents in Alabama. Early on, my response was, "Okay, anyway, so," and it kept it going until I had to hurt some feelings. And I do it flawlessly now. "Sir, address me by this or not at all." I've sent messages that say, "It seems to me that our goals for this conversation are not aligned. I'm here strictly for business. You seem to be a bit more personal. I'm not interested in that. Have a great day. Please refrain from contacting me." Because what I have noticed is the men who are interested in doing business, they don't talk to you that way. And they come out the gate with, boom, let's talk about your race. Let's talk about this. Let's talk about that, because they know their brethren are messing it up for them too. So I just want to throw that out there. And I didn't want to, I'm sorry I spent so much time on it, but it's something nobody ever walked me through and walked me through how to handle it, but be okay with them walking away because they want to know way. So
I
I'll
mean,
say that.
seriously, I mean, I'm over here about ready to shout amen, hallelujah, because back as far as early on in my career, I actually had, as I said, I've been in sales most of my career. So
Very male driven.
front facing to clients. And I actually had a situation where I had a client in Chicago that I would have to travel to see, who, in a sense, basically, it was sexual harassment, but he didn't work for my company. He wasn't my boss. He was my client. But he did control my future in some ways, because he threatened to drop our line from his warehouse if I didn't meet him at a particular hotel on my next trip. And I was in my late 20s. I didn't know what to do. So I actually started making excuses to my boss about, hey, I really need to go to Detroit, or I really need to go to New York. I was saying, hey, could you, since you in the Chicago area, can you handle this for me? And he finally just was like, what's going on? And I literally broke down and told him what happened. And I'm thankful for the fact that he was my advocate.
Yes.
Because a lot of times it didn't happen that way. It was just suck it up, deal with it. It's just how it is. Boys will be boys.
Right.
But he stood up for me. And from that point forward, that helped give me confidence in that space. Yeah. I've been described as a man-eater. And it hurt my feelings the first time I heard it. But now, oh, okay, if that's who you think I am, you can move forward with that. But I have boundaries.
Absolutely.
And I expect to be treated with respect. I'm here to do business.
Right.
I am not here to be propositioned in my email, my business email. Now, if we meet in a social situation and you approach me and let me know that you're interested in dating me, then we have, and I respond appropriately, then we're cool.
That's a different conversation. Absolutely. We're cool. Everyone's adults. Absolutely.
Right. But if you approach me saying business and then you flip it on me, you're a liar.
You're a liar. You lack integrity. And Tracie, you said, some people call you a man eater and you're okay with it. Good. I will say this, ladies, we have the uncanny ability to put on certain hats and take them off. And so in business, if you're called a man eater, maybe you can work on not being that in your personal life. That's one of the things I've been working on in myself, because I've been so afraid to be feminine and soft because I work so much. And so sometimes when work is off, I'm still in this go mode, and I was eating everybody. And so the thing is, I'd rather overcorrect and then, work on fixing that than being in a scenario that Tracie described, that I've shared with you, which I'm stressed, I'm afraid, and really not knowing how to navigate that. And so to me now, one of the biggest compliments is in business when a man calls me aggressive or man eater. I had one of the most powerful men in the world call me a bulldog. And at first I was like, sir, first of all, look at my cheekbones. But I realized what he was saying was that I get after it. And he said, I am always comfortable and feel safe when she's here. And so I leveraged that because, again, I'm not here to correct people's vocabulary. If men refer to me as that in business, what it does to other men is it draws a line, because I don't ever want a man in business to describe me as sweet and nice and fun, because that gives a different connotation to people who are listening. I ain't sweet. I'm not fun. And I tell people I even say these things. Go with your personality. I'm not saying do this. I've just learned my personality, my personal style. But when I'm on a call with mostly men, I put it out there. I say, so gentlemen, I'll let you know right now, I'm very strategic. I ask a lot of questions. I will more than likely wear you down. There will be times that you will feel stressed because I dig behind all of the layers. But the only thing I ask of you is to allow me to do my job, and then I'll allow you to do yours. That's a different tenor because as women, sometimes we come in on accounts and say, I'm so happy to be here. And thank you for the opportunity that I get to do this. And if you don't mind, letting me, I, I'm not asking you anything. I'm saying to you, this is what I do. This is how I will operate. How do you operate? And it takes them aback and they're just like, what is this? What is happening? She wearing pink with that big hair. What? And we get it done every time and bring it back full circle. I operate on referrals. These referrals are coming from men.
And high level of competence. That's
Yes.
my thing. When I step into a space and you've hired me to be your consultant, you've
Right.
hired me to come in and help you with your business. That's what I'm there to
Absolutely.
do. I'm here. I'm going to ask questions. I'm going
Right.
to push the envelope. I'm going to press you outside your comfort zone. You've been running your
Absolutely.
business by yourself. Now it's time to hire some people and you don't want to let go of stuff. So I'm going to force you to let it go. And
Absolutely.
it's uncomfortable at first for some guys to accept that from me. But once they begin to really see the shift that happens in their business, they're like, oh, okay, what else I need to change? What else I need to let
That
go of?
literally is exactly what happens. They end up being like, ask Tracy, ask Zakiya, what do I need to do? What do I need to say? What? And then it almost becomes like, okay, that's outside of my scope of work now. Hold on, sir.
Right,
You want
right.
me to
I'm
run
like,
your
okay,
whole life?
I can't handle all of the things that's going on,
Yeah,
but here's where I can help you.
absolutely.
Ladies, I really want you to understand, standing confident in who you are and the capabilities you bring to the table is what's going to set you apart.
Every
Okay.
time.
You can be in the pink dress, you can be
Mhm.
with the big hair, face beat, nails done, and be that. But you
Absolutely.
also have to understand that even though people will try you, there will be
Mhm.
men who will try you.
Yeah,
You have you have the right to say no and to draw that line that Zakiya was telling you to draw. That's what you have to be willing to do.
absolutely. And I'll
You're
say
gonna stay in
this,
business.
especially absolutely. And then with what I do in strategic communications, I've learned how people think and act and operate. And a lot of times, what we fear repercussions as women, some of them are real, but most of our fear is the story we're telling ourselves. What we forget to remind ourselves is that Mr. McCreeperton doesn't want people to know he's a creeper. We need to understand that we don't have to accept it. And so, in the case of, and if this was in her 20s, so this isn't a critique at all. I'm just now Zakiya, who ain't been 20 for a real long time. And Tracy, I'm sure she'll echo this. Now that I know what I know and that I've experienced what I've experienced, should a man say that to me, I'd say, yeah, well, you know what? We definitely don't want to lose your business. I completely understand. You do know the company tracks where I go meet and the hotel I stay in. So how about this? Let me send an email to this person, Jan, Tom, and whomever, and let them know that you specifically want me to meet you at the Meridian to meet instead of our usual place. That way we just have all the bases covered and see what he says. Baby, I call bluffs. I call bluffs every day, all day. I am from Memphis, Tennessee. I don't play. I will call your bluff. Now, I'm also preparing myself internally for any pushback. I also, I don't live a pie in the sky dream. I'm not about controlling people, but I will call bluff in a minute. And I've said to people, so we can have this conversation. I just want to make sure I'm clear that if we have this conversation and I take the following steps, are you okay with that? Baby, people stop answering my phone calls and everything, the ones that need to, the ones, these little inboxes and all this kind of stuff, it
Mhm.
stops. But honey, I will call a bluff in a minute. And be okay with that, ladies, because the ones who approach you that way, you don't need their business anyway, because they will continually use that as leverage and you will never be successful enough on their account, because there's going to always be something wrong that you're going to have to remedy or mediate through who you are as a woman in person. They're insatiable. So walk away. Walk away. All money ain't good money.
Girl, that's exactly what I was thinking in my head. Yes,
Yeah.
I fire clients. I fired clients. I
Yeah.
have turned down opportunities because I
Absolutely.
literally, one of my prior businesses, I took an account that I was not sure about whether I should take it,
Hmm.
but I took it because I kind of needed the money.
Of course, I get it.
Oh my, came back and bit me in my butt.
Yep.
Major, less than a year later. And it was like,
Wow.
so I was like, from this, when I get that feeling, I press pause and say, okay, Lord, are you giving me this feeling? Because this
Yeah.
is one I need to let go. And 9 times out of 10, he says, stop, close.
Yeah.
I don't need you to go through that door. That's not the door for you.
Right.
And so we have to be willing to let go of what we think is good business, because sometimes it ain't good for us long
Well,
term.
and you made a great point, and I'm living this example currently. There was something that I closed the door on because it didn't feel right. But my bottom line, I mean, needed the money, wanted the account, wanted to keep working, and I closed the door on that. And I want to say a couple of weeks later, something that met whatever that revenue was and tripled it came through. And so I used to hear a lot of people in the metaphysical sense talk about manifest this, manifest that. And I got it, but I just thought, well, that's a little pie in the sky. It's a little dramatic. I have a business. I live every day. But I am telling you, and that's just one example. I could give you an example every other day for the past several years when I have made the decision to close out something because it wasn't aligned with my highest and best self and highest and best vision for my life. I am not, y'all. I wish, and so you see, I'm getting girlfriend on you right now. I'm every single time something has come through, and I would be stressed because sometimes it would be 3 months, and I'm thinking, now hold on, now, should I have bitten the bullet? But without fail, something comes up that not only bridges the gap and makes up for lost time, but makes up for lost revenue, and then takes me further than I was even planning in the first place. So when you make a decision for your highest and best self as a woman in business, I am telling you, something else will show up in a really fantastic way. So if you embrace that and give those affirmations to yourself, and then be on the lookout, it will happen. I am a living testament. Tracie just shared her journey as well.
Absolutely, absolutely. I'm telling you that I've been blessed when I say no to certain things. When
Yeah.
I get that feeling, it's
Hmm.
it is amazing how that ends up happening. And I am just so thankful
Yeah.
for the unction to say no.
Right.
Because
And you
sometimes
know,
we have to be strong enough to say no.
you do. And
And
sometimes we look for that tangible give back by saying no. Like I said, you may be looking for the revenue, but sometimes that no allows you to rest, because rest is a weapon. And
yes,
so remember I was saying, sometimes there's a 3 month gap where I'm thinking maybe I should have taken this client. But within that 3 months, man, I took naps and did all kinds of stuff. And so when that next moment came 3 months later, that was exponentially bigger, exponentially more money, I could handle it because I wasn't running on fumes. And a lot of times we think rest equates to inactivity. Rest equates to not being productive. It's the opposite. If you think about how our bodies work, bones heal, immune system is built, skin regenerates at night when we are asleep. That's why we have some medications they say take before bedtime, right? That's why, so your body regenerates and works on your behalf while you are asleep. So rest is essential. Rest is a weapon. And I wish I had embraced that a few years ago before I had a health crisis and ended up in the hospital and all this type of stuff, because we have this mentality, grind this, hustle that. I have now adopted a spirit of ease. That means I still grind, I still work hard, but I don't have the anxiety and heart palpitations anymore. I say no more often. I take deeper breaths now. And there are some days if I don't feel like doing it, I'm not going to do it. And it sounds crazy. I was never like that. But if I just wake up and like, whoo, yeah, I'm not doing it today. I could send these emails. I do need a couple of bucks, but I'm just not here. Because you will work 6 hours on something that takes 45 minutes if your brain isn't sharp and if you're exhausted. And who is that serving? So I want to impart that, especially upon women. We've got families and all of these other things pulling at us. Rest is a weapon. So use it to fight, sis.
Absolutely. I am the queen of do not give from an empty cup.
Yep.
Stop it. Because I've done it. And I find that I had to realize that we really are truly supposed to be giving from our overflow. And the
Yes.
only way you can give from your overflow is if you take the time to refresh yourself consistently.
Absolutely.
And I push my clients to take at least 15 minutes every day, just 15 minutes. And let me tell you what happens once they take that 15 minutes on a consistent basis for themselves. Then it turns into 30 minutes for
Oh,
themselves
yeah.
and
Oh,
an
yeah.
hour. They take as much
Keeps
time for
going.
themselves as possible.
Yeah.
And when you get into that space and you really see what that benefit is, because I'm
Yeah.
going to be honest, I literally, at one point, especially when I was first working on my book, I was sitting in front of that computer for hours. Nothing's on the screen. I ain't typing nothing, just wasting
Yeah.
my time.
But thinking
And
we're doing something, you're
when I
not.
finally just said, okay, you know what? I'm not feeling it. It's not flowing. Let me step away.
Yeah.
And sometimes I would take a nap, a nice little
Ooh.
30, 45-minute nap. And I would get up and then I would just be click, 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 click.
Mm-hmm.
So it truly is a powerful weapon to
Yeah.
rest and listen to your
Absolutely.
body. It tells you what it needs.
Yeah.
And you actually are more productive when you're rested. You're more
Yeah.
productive when you are in a space of refreshment.
Yes. Absolutely.
So as we wrap up, because I'm going to tell you, Zakiya and I can talk for hours. So we won't keep you on with us for as long as we can normally talk. So as we wrap this up, I just want to give you an opportunity just to share one additional thing with the women that are going to receive your message. What is that one thing you want to share?
The one thing is leverage all of you, especially in this season. In our nation, there is a lot of focus on equity. There's a lot of focus on gender equity as well as racial equity. And I'm not saying play any card because that's on the negative end. That's from an attack mode. I don't play cards, but I leverage who I am when it's my time. And so there are companies looking for women-owned businesses. There are companies looking for minority-owned businesses. If you're a woman and a minority, and then more specifically in this climate, if you're a woman and Black, don't shy away from that. Early on, with I have a ZakiyaLarry.com and I'm all over it. I have questmediatraining.com and you don't know who I am on that. But for many years, I was afraid for someone to see this Black woman. I was so in this climate, leverage that. I'm not saying plaster your face all over your branding, but I am saying in your email pitches, open up with in this climate, many are looking for women, Black owned businesses. Not only do I check that box, but I go beyond box checking into effectiveness in the following areas. Boom, boom, boom. Open your pitches like that. Keep it super simple, straightforward, but acknowledge who you are. Let's not play this game that is not real. So that's something to leverage in this season. And then also, when I told the story about leveraging media and I was able to get some massive contracts just, from being in magazines and all that good stuff. If you want to know how to do the same thing, you can go to questmediatraining.com and check on resources because some people may not be able to afford their own communication strategist or afford your own publicist. However, I do have toolkits and templates for you to plug in, drag and drop to do it yourself, even down to media lists in the cities that you're interested in. Things that, I've been to college and have accreditation through the Public Relations Society of America, National Association of Black Journalists, all the things, all the things, all the things, all the things. So my rates are my rates. Okay. I do understand though that everyone is in a different space. And so I wanted to make this turnkey for our small to medium businesses and even nonprofits where it may be just two of y'all, right? But you still need that visibility in media. I wanted to make it turnkey because that's something I know I needed. and I see the need. And since I can't be everywhere, like Tracie told you with the story in the opening, I wanted to be somewhere. So I've made it really, really, really accessible at questmediatraining.com for resources for you.
Absolutely. Now listen, all of her contact information is below this video, okay? And because I want you to reach out, because her resources are amazing. I have used them. They have been very helpful to me. And know this, that whatever it is that you are working on right now with your business, you can do it. Take a look at the Elevation Strategist right here. Because, honey, Ms. Zakiya has been putting in the work, the real work, quality, excellence, and it's paid off for her. And it will do the exact same thing for you. We're not sitting here saying that it's just about who we are and where we are. No, we're showing you an example. That's why I wanted to share these amazing women with you. I want you to see yourself in them and understand that you have what it takes. God's given you everything that you need to fulfill your purpose in this world. Your gifting and talent is there, and everything else that you need is that provision. He will provide. All you got to do is just take that first step. So let's get moving, y'all. Thank you so much, Zakiya, for joining me. As always, I am so excited to spend time with my beautiful sister of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated. And I look forward to giving you a big hug.
Yes. Soon, soon, soon. Yes,
soon,
cannot
soon.
wait for my Tracie hug.
Yes, 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 absolutely. So y'all, we will be back soon. Keep an eye out for another amazing female entrepreneur coming directly to you, sharing her story, her tips, her strategies for success. Take care, y'all. And as always, no matter what happens, just do it regardless. Zero excuses allowed. Take care, y'all.